Happy birthday to the U.S. Carbon Cycle Science Program. This has been a really important program for U.S. carbon cycle science for 20 years. I would say key issues that have been really facilitated by the U.S. Carbon Cycle Science Program have been the establishment of the Ocean Carbon and Biogeochemistry Program, which addresses ocean carbon cycle issues, and the North American Carbon Program, which addresses primarily terrestrial carbon cycle problems. These programs are really critical for building collaboration and making sure our community identifies potential gaps in the science and figures out ways to fill those gaps. Because US science is really driven by individual investigators, ideas, and insights into how to move science forward, we do need this way of coming back together and identifying when things are being missed because individuals haven't necessarily found those gaps between the fields or new areas where we need to focus on that might be have little information behind them, but are in fact really important to balancing the carbon budget. In the next 10 to 20 years, I think it's critical that the Carbon Cycle Science Program continue this work of coordination and bringing people together, and also that we take some time to really identify those gaps that are even broader than the ones we've found so far. So for example, things that fall really between the land and the ocean. For example, inland waters where it's part of the land, but there's not a lot of aquatic scientists who are really involved with the NACP as many as terrestrial scientists, of course. So I think that's one gap that we could address. Also, coastal waters, our interactions with the international community, because of course the global carbon cycle, well, it's really global, of course. And I think also longer term multi-decadal processes that might not be really critical to understanding today's carbon budget, but are really important to the long-term future of the carbon cycle. So where is the carbon going to go that we're emitting, and how can we best prevent atmospheric CO2 to grow enormously by understanding and diagnosing and monitoring the sinks in the carbon cycle on timescales of 20, 30 years, and how are we going to build the monitoring system, how are we going to make sure we have the science in place so that we can really begin to manage the carbon cycle both at the US scale as well as contribute to global management of the carbon cycle.